All right, guys, go to Boy 32 here. Check it out. We're out on the range. This is the range test of this guy right here. This is the Sightmark Rapid AR. This is the 1 to 4x20 scope. First thing we're going to do is ask ourselves a couple questions. What makes a good sport rifle scope? Well, I'll tell you what. Primarily, number one comes to me is reputation and name. Loophole, Night Force, Trichicon. Those are the high dollar ones. But what comes up as a good value? Well, Primary Arms, Vortex, Sightmark. They're getting into the game as far as good quality. And I think this, when I did the tabletop review, probably the biggest topic was Sightmark and where are they on their quality these days. Well, we're going to find out here. We're going to take this thing out. Now, I'm not going to dump water and throw it all over the place and everything else. This is part of the testing and evaluation program. I got to send this thing back. But I will tell you this. There are some attributes of this scope that I really do like. So first thing we're going to do, I've already taken the liberty of zeroing it in. We're at 100 yards. Very simple, very easy. And let's see how she groups down there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to test the turrets. I'm going to show you how to zero them out. And one of the things that I absolutely love about this thing is the glass, the reticle, and we're going to see how fast it is. Here we go. Now, a couple things. The scope comes with these really nice caps. These end caps are rubber. They're not plastic. They got a nice bungee cord on there. Another thing, it's like 25 degrees out here this morning. Now, the cool part about it is that the on-off button, it's on here on the side. It's reminiscent of the Loophole Mark 1, Mod 4, whatever it is. But anyway, that's pretty cool. So the turrets on this guy right here are really, really nice. I love the way it's got the directions on the facing portion towards the shooter. Because how many times have you had to go, okay, where am I going on this thing? And to really do that, you got to be real familiar with the scope. I can't tell you how many times I've told people, what's the best thing that you can do is just be familiar with your scope. Be familiar with the rifle, be familiar with your trigger. Now today, we're running this rifle right here. Now this upper portion of the receiver is the C-Max. This is part of the C-Max build, and it's part of the giveaway. We're going to be doing the ins and outs of this giveaway tomorrow night. But keep things all fair and try to maximize the effects of the scope, we're running a competition trigger with a 2.5 pound two-stage trigger back here. So we're going to go ahead and put 3 rounds down range. We're going to see what we're doing. And then what I want to do is I want to test these turrets. We're going to go 10 inches up. These are half MOA adjustments. So 20 clicks should get us 10 inches. We're going to go to the left 10 inches and we're going to come do the whole thing back and see where it ends up. So we'll do 3 rounds on the bullseye. We're going to bring it up 10 inches, do 1 round, take it left 10 inches, do 1 round, and we'll bring it back and see how accurate it is. The only thing that I really have any complaints about it is the damn thing is so short. It's not that big, not that bad of a thing. So let's take a look at it in comparison with, say, this the Viper PST and the Vortex. And this is also a 1 to 4 scope, but I just want to see how it compares in length. So as you can see right here, this is a 1 to 4 scope. Look at the length and how much longer it is than the Sightmark. It's probably a good inch, inch and a quarter in length longer. Now, another good scope to compare it with, and this is one of the only downfalls that I found, is that pretty much everybody's doing a 1 to 6 scope these days. So you can see this is the Primary Arms 1 to 6. Look at the length difference in the two. Hold on, there we go. So what leads me to believe is there's still hope for the 1 to 4 out there. I would have liked to seen it 1 to 6, but there's a couple things that lend itself to something cool like this. Is a really short, stocky CQB rifle where you want to use a true 1 power and then move up to the 1 to 4. So with that being said, let's go ahead and pop a few rounds down on that 100 yard target. Okay, so that's 3 rounds on target there. So what I want to do now is these reticles can be zeroed out. And how they're zeroed out is you've got these top caps right here. Go ahead and you pull these up. You can unscrew these top screws right there, and then you pull the tops off, you reset them to 0, and that way you know where you are. So I'm going to go ahead and take that opportunity to do that real quick. Here we go. I got my big monster screwdriver out here. Actually, I think you could use a quarter or a nickel or something like that. So let's go ahead and pull those off. We're going to pull these turrets directly up, and I'm going to center it right in the middle. There we go. Perfect. Reset them. Snug it down a little bit. Put that cap down. Now the interesting thing is you take a look at this stuff with the caps, everything's got an O-ring in it, and pretty much it's waterproof standard up to the IP67, which is basically 1 to 3 meters for 1 hour. We'll go ahead and do the same thing to this turret. I'm gonna put some detailed photos at the end of this thing so you can see exactly what I'm talking about, but these turrets are pretty cool. They're really nice. Go ahead and pull that up. You can see that the numbers on there are awesome. All right, so just a little scoop. The inside news on this, the range that I'm shooting at is a public range, and it is deer season. And these guys have been taking this thing over much more than they normally would be. But we're gonna make do. It's early in the morning. All right, so we're gonna load 3 more rounds up. Go ahead, and we're gonna elevate this thing 20 clicks up, and we're gonna see where that hits down there on the 0. This is the true test of the turrets. So here we go. So I've got my directional arrow, that way is up. So half MOA adjustments at 100 yards. So nice thing is the turrets are locked in until you pull them up. Watch. Snap up. Up, down. All right, so here we go. Up. 1, 2, all right, there's 20. And right there it says 10 MOA on the turret, which is really cool. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and pop this up. 10 MOA should be 10 inches at 100 yards, aiming at the bullseye. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go 10 MOA to the left, which is pretty cool. So it's 20 clicks, and again, we're gonna pull up on the adjustments there. 1, 2, there we go. Let's see where she lands on the left side. There we go. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna bring it back to 0, and let's see if we can get that bullet to hit right back where it's supposed to be. Now, 1 more round, bring it down to our bullseye. Sightmark might not be getting this scope back. There we go. Let's run down there and see what it looks like. Here we go. All right, well, here's one situation. I know that I brought it over here, and I don't know where this hit over here, but I tell you what, it went up, came across, came back, and came back down. We'll see the videotape here in a few minutes and see how that looked, but I'm very excited. Now, what I want to do is I want to talk about that reticle. It's the Sheppard Reticle. It's really, really nice. It's precise. The glass on this thing, I don't have any complaints whatsoever. It's really nice. I would say that they've moved up in the world in their clarity of their glass. Definitely a little step above the UTG stuff and the Barska stuff. But the one thing that I do like about the reticle is the clarity of that thing. It's etched in, which means that it's going to burn whether you have it battery power or batteries on or off. There's 10 levels of adjustment. each one of the clicks, you turn the thing off by holding the button down 3 times. And I like that button and the proximity of it, because all you do is reach up and hold it with your finger and you're on. So that's it. So let's go over here. We're going to set up at the 50 yard, and I'm going to see how fast we can move to 3 different targets on the same piece of paper from a standing, unsupported position, because that's how this scope is supposed to be used. 25 degrees this morning. Yeehaw. All right, guys, so we're at the 50 yard line. There's some 6-inch targets down there. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put 1 round into each one, I hope. But this will give you a good indication of what that reticle looks like. It is very, very nice. I can't get it to get in there. Well, anyway, we got it wound up to 4 power. Here we go. Work better if I did that. Let's do that one more time. Here we go. Beats the rush, huh? I don't know how that's looking. Probably not too good. One more time. The reason I use the 6-inch targets from the 50 yard line is because of the competition level. That's what a lot of those poppers that you're going to be using, that's what we're going to be shooting at. We'll get a chance to get a break in the action. We'll get in there and check it out. And then we're going to talk about this thing a little further. Stand by. All right, guys, that's pretty much it on the review of this guy. This is the Sightmark AR Rapid 1-4 by 20. Overall, and do I like it? Yeah, I do. I love the knurling around here. It turns the entire zoom when you do that, so you've got a big area right here. The only downfall is that you don't have an area where you can put a throw lever on it, but I'm sure that you can get one of those aftermarkets that'll fit right closely there. Now, the other option that I don't like is that when you are turning the focus ring on that rear zoom area, this whole thing turns, as you can see. So a lot of times that's kind of was confusing for me. The benefits of this guy, it's very small, it's compact. Look at the turrets on there. You've got these locking rings, you pull them up, push them down, they lock into place, you don't have any worries there. Pull them out, push them back, bring it back to 0, push them in. Clarity is probably the best that I've seen at the 299 mark, honestly. The one power is a true 1 power. Crank that thing up to 4. There's no vignetting. It's absolutely incredible. One of the other things that I absolutely love about this is the eye relief on it is so forgiving. You can be all the way out here, and I can go all the way into there, and you're going to be able to see it. A little bit of parallax on it, but not too much. Quick acquisition, the reticle that the SHR reticle, the Sheppard is set up for IDP-A so that you can use the cross references in with their targets to figure out the length or the distance you're shooting at. Would I recommend it? I'll tell you what, they might have a tough time getting this thing back. However, a 1-6 power would have been really, really nice. All right, so anyway, that's pretty much it, guys. If you have any comments or questions, please don't hesitate in leaving them down below. Like I said, a 1-6 power, price line, glass is awesome. And that's it. Guys, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Support the red, white, and blue. God bless America. God bless those men, women in uniform 24/7 for our freedom. Because freedom is not free. Let's go to boy 32. Out.
I think we're ready to walk.
Okay.